Well, I thought I was retiring out of my in-person sessions, and I have reinstated them because of popular demand. This is the question about the deposit that I asked for if you're coming to see me in person. Before, I used to ask for a deposit, and I just trusted people with I had a, I would say, 75% stand-up rate. I'm basically getting ready for somebody, which would entail me running around my house, cleaning of my house looking good. I have to make sure I look good, so I'm going to be bathed or showered and fresh. That means that I'm wearing something sexy, lingerie, which takes forever to get into. And my hair is done, my nails are done, everything looks good. And then I'm sitting here waiting for that person to call as per our arrangement, and they don't show up. They're supposed to contact me when they're close by, or when they are parked. So when they park and, you know, they're supposedly outside, I will give them my unit number, my actual full address. Once that person's called me and told me that they're parked, then suddenly, and I've given them my actual unit number and they don't show up. Can you imagine how nerve-wracking that is? One time I had my parents in town, and they barely ever come into town, and there was a knock on the door because I used to give out my actual apartment number, and it was a knock on the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. As soon as I opened it, he said my work name, and I was just so embarrassed, and my parents were both like looking towards the door, like, who is that? He was basically standing in the doorway saying, Mr. Suzanne, and I wanted to die. I was so embarrassed, and my parents were like, had that look on their face, like, who is it? And I said, I'm sorry, you must have the wrong address. And as I'm closing the door, he's even saying, no, it's you from the ad. You look just like your pictures. I wanted to honestly die. So that was one situation. I had a stalker. So it was the middle of the night, and I was getting, you know, into my nightgown or something like that. I was getting changed in my room. And you know that feeling like somebody's watching you? And I went over to my blinds, and there was a guy literally on the wall. He had climbed the wall, and he was right outside my window, right on the wall, looking in. And I was so startled, as I had to call the police, of course, because the guy ran away. Like, it was a guy, like, literally stalking me. So this is why I do require a down payment, because I'm trying to eliminate fucktards, stalkers, and pieces of shit that don't have the courtesy to call somebody if they're not going to make it, if they get cold feet. That $100 deposit is, at least it covers my time in getting ready and getting my house. Quite frankly, I don't have time to sit and go through your emails and your name and all this sort of thing. That maybe there's scammers do that sort of thing. I don't. I have a life outside of my work. Discretion and confidentiality are number one for me. And I think that's why I've done so well in this city. Certain things I would never do. 1 is steal. 2 is try to ruin somebody's life. 3 is like really truly ask personal questions that are like, why? I don't have any use for that information. Like I said, I have a life outside of my work, so yes, a lot of people cannot be trusted out there, and that's why I make the videos on this channel about how not to get scammed on Leo List. That is for your sake as a client. I wouldn't have been in business in Vancouver for 25 plus years if I was a scammer. And I do have good reviews when it comes to that and being able to trust me. People have paid in full before they even arrive. And of course, I'm still honoring their session hours. It would affect my business, right? So no, I'm not a scammer. And yes, you can trust me with a deposit. That is $100, and you're bringing another minimum of $200 when you arrive. Anyways, if this does not make sense to you, then I'm sorry. 75% stand-up rate before I started this policy of requiring a deposit. Now, since I started the deposit, which I've been doing, I guess, for about 8 years now, I have a 0% stand-up rate. Like, literally every person, even if they can't make it, they call because it's their money. Their money's involved. And it's just funny how that goes, right? The other guys, like the guy showing up in the case of my parents, he just probably was one of those clients that had gotten my address one day for a session and got cold feet, didn't bother to call me to tell me. I sat here waiting for however long, probably tried his phone just to find out that I'd been blocked or whatever the case, and decided, oh, you know what, it's Sunday, I'm in the neighborhood, I'm going to stop by now. Now I'm ready. I think I'm ready. And they make their own appointments. They make their own appointment time. They decide that now they're ready. I'll just drop in. It's not a drop in situation. My home is my home and it doubles for work. So, yes, I'm very picky about who I see and keeping an appointment and being punctual, just like I would be if I was to come to your home. I would be discreet. I would be punctual. I would call if I was going to be late or if I wasn't able to come. And that's just respect. But you'd be amazed at how few people actually hold that type of level of respect when they have no deposit that they put down. As soon as there's a deposit involved, all of a sudden, most of my clients now, they arrive early. They're like, are you ready? Are you ready? I arrived a little bit early. And I'm like, no, I told you not to come early. Your appointment's for 3 o'clock. I realize it's 2:30, but I still need some time to get ready. That's basically how all of my appointments go now. They're always early. They're always like sitting in their car waiting because their money's involved. So I'm pretty sure that makes sense to you. And like I said, if it doesn't, then, well, you should have read my advertising better, because all my advertising does state that I require a down payment. So how you could have missed that, I don't know. And it's required via e-transfer. So anyways, have a great day. Bye-bye.